The fact of the matter is, when we pass away, we can't take anything with us. Most people put off estate planning because death feels so far away, but neglecting this kind of planning can have massive consequences both financially and emotionally for the people that we care about. Take Prince, for example. When he passed away in 2016, he left behind an estimated $250 million fortune, but he had no will. That meant the courts had to step in and decide who got what. Over 45 people claimed to be heirs, and the chaos that followed dragged on for years. Eventually, his estate was split among a few of his siblings and half-siblings, but we'll never actually know what Prince would have wanted. Or look at Jimi Hendrix, for example. He passed away at 27 years old with no estate plan. His money ended up going to his father, who gave it to someone Jimmy likely never intended to inherit a dime, and his own brother got nothing. Now, those are some extreme examples, but this kind of thing happens every single day. Most people don't even know what estate planning means, let alone how to get started. So today, we're going to change that. Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we discuss all things financial literacy. Recently, I released a video breaking down how to use life insurance and a trust to build real wealth, and the response to that video was incredible. So today, I want to go even deeper. I want to talk about estate planning and what a trust really is, because this isn't just about protecting assets, it's about building a legacy. Now, whether you're watching this at 18 years old or you're watching this at 68, this is something that everyone needs to hear. And if you're younger and your parents haven't had the talk about what happens with their assets, this video could be the wake-up call that helps you start that important conversation. Getting those affairs in order now could make all the difference later, especially when it comes to protecting your family and everything that they have built. So let's dive in and talk about how to make sure that what's yours stays yours and how to set your family up for success for generations to come. Let's start off by addressing two incredibly important topics that people either misunderstand or don't think about until it's too late. The first is probate. When someone passes away, their estate, the legal term for everything that they own, typically goes through a process called probate. This is a court-supervised procedure where a judge determines how the deceased person's assets are distributed. Your money, your home, your investments, basically everything you've built. But here's the problem. Probate is slow, it's expensive, and worst of all, it's public. Your entire financial life becomes part of public record, and your family could be stuck waiting months or even years to receive what's rightfully theirs. Plus, creditors get first dibs before your loved ones ever see a dime. Now that brings us to our second and far more powerful topic, which is a trust. A trust is one of the smartest and most effective tools in estate planning. It lets you take control of your assets even beyond the grave. With a trust, you can bypass probate completely, you keep everything private, and you make sure that your wealth goes exactly where you want it to go on your terms and not the courts. So if you've ever thought that estate planning was just for the wealthy or the elderly, then think again. A trust isn't just a legal document, it's a financial strategy, it's a protection plan, and in many cases, the key to building true generational wealth. A trust is a legal entity that holds assets on your behalf. Think of it like a safety deposit box. You decide what goes inside, who gets to manage it, and who eventually receives everything once you're gone. It's a way of legally separating your assets from your name while still keeping full control. When you set up a trust, you become the trustee. That means you're in charge of everything that's in the trust while you're alive. Once you pass away, control of the trust will pass to someone who you choose in advance, a successor trustee. That person is responsible for distributing everything according to your wishes. The person who ultimately benefits from the trust are called beneficiaries. These might be your kids, your spouse, close friends, even a charity. There are two main types of trust, revocable and irrevocable. A revocable trust, sometimes called a living trust, can be changed at any time. You can add or remove assets, you can change your beneficiaries, or even cancel the whole thing. It's flexible, and that's why it's the go-to option for most people. An irrevocable trust, on the other hand, is permanent. Once you put assets in it, they're out of your hands. This type is typically used for very specific tax or legal strategies. For most people, a revocable living trust is more than enough to accomplish your estate planning goals. Now, I'm sure you're thinking, how do I even start a trust? Creating a trust isn't complicated, but it does require a few key documents. These form the foundation of your estate planning, and trust me, once these are in place, your future self will thank you, and so will your loved ones. Before you do anything though, you need to be crystal clear on why you're setting up a trust in the first place. Having a clear purpose helps you shape the trust in a way that truly supports your goals and your family's future. So to begin, you want to ask yourself a few questions. Is your goal to make sure that specific assets go to specific people? or maybe it's about financial support with structure. You might want a trust to pay for a family member's business idea or a down payment on a home, or if your kids are still young, you might not feel comfortable handing them a lump sum of money right away. A trust lets you set conditions like only releasing funds once they turn 25, maybe once they graduate or reach a certain milestone. Whatever your vision is, knowing your why is what helps you make all the important decisions on who gets what, why they get it, and how it's managed. Being intentional now will prevent confusion and conflict later, and that's how you create a legacy that lasts. Now, here are the 5 core documents that you'll need. Number 1, last will and testament. Even if you're setting up a trust, you still need a will. Think of it as your safety net. A will lets you specify things a trust can't, like who takes care of your kids, your pets, or your sentimental items that don't require official titles. Think jewelry or collectibles. A will can also include what's known as pour over clause, which basically catches any assets you forget to put into the trust and transfers them after your death. You can create a legally binding will for free using websites like Rocket Lawyer or freewill.com. Even LegalZoom will offer some services to create a will, but I always recommend having this looked at by a lawyer. But I just want you to know that there are some options available for free. Just make sure to review it regularly and update it after any major life changes like marriage, divorce, new children, or a major purchase. The second document that you need is durable power of attorney. This document allows someone else to manage your finances if you become incapacitated. Let's say you're in a coma or you're dealing with a medical emergency. Who's going to pay the bills? Who moves money if it needs to be moved? Who makes sure your business stays running? That's where this power of attorney comes in. You assign a trusted person called your attorney, in fact, to handle your finances on your behalf. They're legally obligated to act in your best interest and can't just run off with your money. Again, this can be created through Rocket Lawyer or similar platforms, but always have it reviewed by an estate planning attorney. The third document is healthcare power of attorney. Similar to the durable power of attorney, this document appoints someone to make medical decisions for you if you're unable to do it yourself. If you're unconscious, in surgery, or otherwise unable to speak for yourself, this person can authorize treatment, choose your care facility, and talk to doctors on your behalf. This is not something you want to leave up to chance, or worse, let courts decide. Choose someone that you trust deeply, someone who knows your values and will fight for your wishes if it comes down to it. The fourth document is a living will advance healthcare directive. Not to be confused with a regular will, a living will outlines what kind of medical treatments you want or you do not want if you're terminally ill or you're unable to communicate. This includes decisions about life support, feeding tubes, resuscitation, and more. It takes the pressure off your family during the most difficult time of their lives and makes your wishes clear. In some states, this is included with your healthcare power of attorney. In others, it's a separate document. Either way, it's something that I would say is essential. And the fifth document is the revocable living trust. This will be the centerpiece of your estate planning. This document creates the trust itself and defines all the terms: who the trustee is, who the beneficiaries are, what assets go into the trust, and how they should be distributed. The power of the trust lies in its privacy. Unlike a will, it never becomes public record. That means no one has to know who's getting what. It avoids probate entirely and keeps things simple for your family, and it also ensures your assets are handled exactly the way you intended. You can even add provisions to delay access to certain funds until your beneficiaries hit a specific age, meet certain criteria, or certain conditions. So look, guys, this might not be the most fun topic in the world, but it's one of the most important things that you can do for your family and the future of your legacy. You don't need millions in the bank to justify setting up a trust. You just need to care enough to protect what you've already worked for. One thing I didn't discuss today in this video was an ILIT, an irrevocable life insurance trust. And this is a type of trust specifically designed to own and manage life insurance policies, typically permanent life insurance like whole life or index universal life and IUL that build cash value. Once established, the term of the trust cannot be changed, hence irrevocable, but I'll cover that in a future video. But please hire an attorney to review before you finalize anything. It'll cost very little upfront, but it'll save your family a lot of money and stress down the line. And remember to keep your trust and all related documents updated. Life changes, you get married, you get divorced, you have more children, you get a brand new business. Keep your estate plan current to reflect your reality. Whether you're leaving behind stocks, real estate, or something of sentimental value, make sure the people you love receive it the way you intended for them to receive it. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. The only thing that I would ask is if you do not have a trust set up, or maybe you have parents right now that are getting up there in age, show them this video. Share this video with someone you may want to spark that conversation with, because one thing that we never really worry about is what happens after we're gone and what happens to the people that are still here, especially if you're looking at your parents right now. Maybe they have some assets that you can take advantage of or you can leverage. So that would help you maybe build some wealth for your family currently. These are some things that usually we don't talk about, we don't discuss, but definitely it should be a conversation. And this was just a very, very, very brief introduction to a trust. However, my intention was to just make you aware and to spark that conversation so we can have that discussion. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video, and you guys have a wonderful day.